The revolution will not be televised.
The revolution will be streamed live.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to a new episode, fresh in the oven. Right now, we're in the oven of Critical and Thinking.
With Ian Harris.
And Ty Barnett.
In the oven.
That's right.
It's Oscar night. It's a Sunday. We're recording this on a Sunday.
Yes, that's me. That's how much we care about this podcast. All right, we could be at home doing a bunch of other stuff.
I could be hosting the Oscars right
That's
now.
right. Well, actually, it was open this year. It was open this year.
There's no one doing it, right?
I should have put in my application, bro. How did you? You know, isn't it surprising?
I really don't get that. They get rid of Kevin Hart and they say, "Fuck it, we're never gonna have."
We're just not gonna have a host.
They could have hired either one of us.
Yeah, we was free.
We would have been better than nothing.
We was free, which, by the way, in real quick side away, that reminds me, we're going to talk about him later in the show, is Brody Stevens, rest in peace. But one of Brody's lines, I didn't realize, he said he was one of the few people that would send his avails to this to the Staples Center or something like that. That's hilarious. Okay, so we're gonna talk a few things this episode. We're gonna talk the Oscars. We're gonna talk Brody Stevens, of course, and we're gonna talk about mental health.
Yep.
But what we're gonna start with? What we're gonna start with? Do you want to start with the Oscars? Because they haven't come on yet officially. Have they come on yet?
No, I don't think they're on for another couple hours. Right?
What up, Michael?
Yeah, let's check. So you got them? You got a list?
I got them right here. Let's go. Technologies. That's what we're using. All right. Best Supporting Actress, Regina King. Which, by the way, you know what? Are you familiar with Regina King's work?
No.
Let me tell you something. She has been a beast for a long, long time, bro. I mean, like these small supporting roles and things, but she would always stand out. I remember her and Sandra Bullock actually did Miss Congeniality Part 2. She played the what up, JP?
I can't believe you saw that.
I like Sandra Bullock. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I didn't do the whole birdcage thing or bird box.
The birdcage.
The birdcage thing.
Starring Nathan Lane as Sandra Bullock.
There you go. We should add that to your impressions list. Right. But Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. Now, I actually saw the previews for this. The only reason I didn't like... sometimes I got to be in a mood for a movie that's sensitive like that. Like, and by all accounts, the trailer, it looked all very sensitive. And I'm like, I just got to be in a mood for that. I'm not really a sensitive movie watching type person like that. But she's amazing. And, the other thing, the Boondocks. Remember the cartoon, The Boondocks?
Yeah.
She did the voice of the kids.
Okay.
That's how versatile she is. Okay, so we got Regina King. This is what we're going to do on the spot. Ian doesn't even know we're doing this right now. So I'm going to read to Ian the nominees for this category, and you have to pick who you think should win.
Well, what if I haven't seen any of the movies?
You got to guess, bro. You got to guess. Here we go. So the first one is Regina King, and you guys weigh in out there too. Regina King. Hey, what up, Todd? Regina King for If Beale Street Could Talk. Emma Stone for The Favorite, which is the period piece. You know, they were Victorian days type but it was a comedy.
Not about menstruation.
No.
The period piece.
Already I can tell Ian's going to fuck this up. Rachel Weisz, also for The Favorite.
You can't have two favorites. That's not right.
This is why they don't ask him to do shit.
Exactly.
This is why they don't call him. Marina Di Tavira for Roma. I heard about Roma, but I'm not going to lie, bro. I love reading, but I hate watching movies with subtitles. I just can't. I just can't.
I'm actually dyslexic, so I spend all the time reading it. I don't see any of the pictures.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it takes me so long.
I know, right? That's why if they would have put Star Wars in subtitles, he would never know who Luke Skywalker was.
And if the guy next to me is dyslexic, we slam our heads together the entire movie.
This dude. Right. And finally, the final nominee for Best Supporting Actress, Amy Adams in Vice.
Man, you know, you
didn't see any of those.
I haven't seen any of those movies.
Wow.
Okay. None of those movies are geared for 14-year-old girls, which is when I go to the movies, because I have a 14-year-old daughter.
But your daughter's also very smart.
Not because I'm a Republican senator.
But I think she's also very smart, so I think she could kind of get into The Favorite and maybe even Beale Street too. Yeah,
I mean, I just my guess from the way Hollywood works, I'm guessing it's going to be... See, that one girl, her De Tavira, I thought that was going to be a Latin name, but she looks more like she's Italian or something. Yeah. I think it's going to go to Emma Stone.
Emma Stone?
I don't know anything about it. I just know that people like Emma Stone.
I know they do. They do.
She
was great in, was it Birdman? Birdman?
Oh, yeah, that was good. With
Michael Keaton.
Another guy who doesn't get enough credit.
So we go on to, let's see, documentary feature. I can tell you I don't know anything about that. Okay, so let's go costume design. Best costume design. All right. Black Panther is all right. Mary Zofries, or the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I don't know who that is. Alexandria Byrne for Mary Queen of Scots.
Right.
Did you see that? No.
Nope.
I don't know. For some reason, I thought you would see something like that.
My mom wanted to see it. We're apparently on somewhere far back related. So
to Mary Queen of Scots?
Yeah.
Oh man, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you, man. See,
well, like one of those like distant cousins. Like
twice removed.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Like one of her servants. Fucked one of my relatives way back in the day, and somehow
Ancestry.com.
Yes,
guys.
exactly.
We're sponsored by Ancestry.com. Okay, Sandy Powell for The Favorite, and then
people already saying.
Actually, wait a minute.
Already gone. This is already one. It's already,
yeah.
It's already
no, Sandy got that one. I mean, no, the Black Panther one.
I was going to say Black Panther. I mean, you can't.
Goddamn right.
And you can't create a costume that can do all that shit and not win. I mean,
yeah,
it's impervious to bullets. I mean, that's the
but
best.
it might not be impervious to consumer opinion. But apparently they won.
What about let's just look at the best picture, best director. Let's
best picture. All right, let's look at best picture. Wait, nominees?
Yeah, nominees, because I don't think that's happened yet, has it? Somebody out there watching?
Let us know. What up, Brett?
Look at that. They just put the
best picture. Okay, best.
There you go. Best picture nomination, 2019. All right, what do we got here?
All right.
Okay.
Come on, man. You would have had to have seen at least one of these, Ian. You would have had to. Here we go. Bohemian Rhapsody. At least you know what it's about, right? But Bohemian Rhapsody, which I heard nothing but great things about. If anybody out there if you've seen it, let us know what you think. If you've seen it, hey, Zalanda, how you doing? What up, Derek? What up, Brett? Okay, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Black Panther. That's right.
Black Klansman?
Black Klansman, and The Green Book. I haven't seen The Green Book, but I heard good things about The Green Book.
Which is funny because it's Peter Farrelly of the Farrelly brothers, but it's a serious film. I know I heard people didn't want to do it because they didn't want to do a movie about a guy who's the director whose normal movie is like,
is comedies.
Yeah,
but I heard it has a humor, like it has humor in it,
right.
Which is great. But they're good for that though. The Farrelly brothers are good at they can either be over the top or they're still good at being subtle with their comedy.
Like Jim Carrey with the dildo in his ass. That subtle?
But okay, then let's say there's something about Mary. There was certain the dialogue, the opening dialogue where the guy's like, that's I kind of like Mary, and they show the guy with the zit, and he kind of says, yeah, bullshit. Yeah, no, but I get with her. Like subtle stuff like that. They can pull it back. But I understand why no one would be like, oh yeah, I gotta.
I hope it's funny, the two words.
This is who you hope will win.
I hope Black Klansman wins, or Black Panther. But I love Black Panther, but I don't think it was like, to me, that it was like, when I think of Best Picture, I'm usually thinking of something that's super uplifting for society or gives some kind of point. It was an amazing movie, and I love Black Panther. I'll watch it a bunch of times, but it's a superhero film, Okay. Whereas Black Klansman actually had...
I guess.
Oh, shit. Black Klansman actually had a lot of great messages. The acting was good.
I get what you're saying.
When Spike Lee won, Spike Lee needs to win something.
That's true. No, which, by the way, he should win a Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm a huge Spike Lee fan. Like, even though I've heard different stories about him personally and professionally, but like his body of work still to me is like, man, I gotta at least give him a shot. He's one of those dudes that's like, I gotta at least check out what he's doing.
Is he up for Best Director? I wonder.
Let's see right here. You can. He's up for Best Picture. I don't know about Best Director. So anyway, you hope Black Klansman wins, because Black Klansman was a good movie too.
Yeah,
Black Klansman was really good. I mean, I got a couple of friends of mine that have issues with the historic accuracy of certain things, of certain characters, but other than that, I thought it was a dope movie. And that ending, oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that was weird about it is as how they did the ending, where they made it, they showed everything from modern nowadays, and it was kind of a little bit like slappy in the face with, yes, Trump, WAP, he's an asshole, and a little bit slappy in the face of that. Yeah. But it was nice to see that. I don't think I really needed those ties. I think I figured that out on my own, but it was good to see all that stuff. But I just think it was one of those films that it had a lot of social relevance now and at the time. I'm sure it wasn't historically accurate. I'm sure a lot of it was. It's a movie. They got to do it in 2 hours. No. It's like they got to make it exciting. I mean, we can't just sit there and watch this dude's. I hate when people go, "Well, it wasn't historically accurate." Yeah, you think so? You think something that happened over years in 2 hours was going to be?
No. I get it. Not you.
I'm just saying.
I get it, and that's what I said, and that's actually part of the reason why I had the conversation with a friend of mine who said he didn't like how specifically how Stokely Carmichael was portrayed.
Right.
So, and I said, you know what? I can understand that, because if you watch actual footage of this person talking and then you see the portrayal, of course you're going to be more critical. But I feel like the overall message of BlacKkKlansman was one that needed to be seen. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it, let me tell you something real quick. I hope I'm not spoiling it for you. If you haven't seen it at this point, then me talking right now ain't going to bother you. But the part at the end where they're on the phone and they're on the phone and they let David Duke know that they got him, like, we got you, I'm the cop, and blah, blah, blah. And everyone's laughing. The cops are laughing and the audience is laughing because, look, he just made David Duke look like a fool. And then the very next scene is Trump speaking at his inauguration. Dude, it fucks you up.
Yeah.
It fucks you up. And then you see footage of the actual David Duke congratulating Trump. You're like, oh.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, in my last special, I talk about that. David Duke, every presidential nomination, he always endorses somebody. It's always a big deal. They're like, he endorsed Reagan or whatever, and Reagan's like, back the fuck up away. I do not take the endorsement from David Duke. Right. Trump didn't denounce it.
No,
he's the only presidential candidate that I know of that was legitimate. That wasn't just like some fourth party whatever that accepted a recommend. What do you call it?
A nomination. I mean, support.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hello. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyway. So from fucking David Duke. Yeah.
So no, I get it.
But I think the movie. I don't know. I like them. I really like Black Panther a lot. I have no idea what the favorite. I don't even know what the favorite's about.
Oh, I think I can tell you right now. The favorites of this category here.
Is it the favorite?
Ironically, it's not.
No,
probably not. But it's probably going to come down to Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm going to put some money. Not no money. I ain't putting no money on shit. Bohemian Rhapsody or Black Panther. I'm going to say that. Don't get me wrong. BlacKkKlansman was dope, but I don't know if they're going to give it to Spike, even though it was a dope movie. You
know what they might do? We might see Black Panther win the Best Picture, and maybe Spike Lee win Best Director. So he is up for Best Director, but also so is Alfonso Cuarón, who's for Roma. I haven't seen Roma, but I know that.
The thing fell.
I'll get it. I do not. I'm gonna sorry for fucking up this guy's name. Pawlikowski for Cold War. Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite, and Adam McKay for Vice, and then Spike Lee for BlacKkKlansman for.
I want to see Vice. A lot of people told me Vice was good. So I got to see it.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, I hope Spike Lee wins something for either Best Picture or Best Director. I'd be fine to see Spike Lee win Best Director and Black Panther win Best Film. I don't know. Will they do it? I don't know. Oh, there's more. I didn't realize there was more.
Oh, you know what? Oh,
there was only 5.
No, we got 2 more. Well, Roma is one of them, and then. More. No, we said Vice.
A Star is Born.
Oh no, Vice and you're right.
A Star is
Vice
Born.
And A Star is Born. I heard again great things about A Star is Born.
Right,
but I have not.
I'm not a big fan of remakes either.
I know because I remember the original. It was Chris Christopherson and Barbra Streisand, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of remakes, and I'm not a big. There's certain things I'm just like, I don't know, man. I just find that it's just my personal taste. And also I think that whether it's my personal taste or not. Sometimes,
what up, Jimmy? I see you, Todd.
Sometimes the Academy is snobby about certain types of things. You never see a comedy up for best film, best picture. I think there's been a couple in history, but you almost never. And why not? Why can't comedies be the best movie out there?
But that might be also to the same point of why you said you personally don't see a comic book movie winning, because it's never been thought of that way, because it's just a comic book movie. And I think that's part of the same stigma that comes with comedies.
That's not what I meant by that, though. It's not that it's just a comic book movie. It's that it's those kind of movie. In my opinion, it didn't have enough depth for what I'm used to seeing, and it's not a movie where you go, wow, crazy social relevance in the ways that you see like Black Klansman or other movies where you go, wow, it was a great movie. It was cool, but it's like, I love the original Superman with Christopher Reeve.
Right.
I don't look at it and go, oh man, I don't put it on the same level as like fucking a Clockwork Orange or something.
No, I get it. But
some movie where you're just like, you walk away going, fuck, my mind's fucked up. You
gotta look at it. See, here's the other part of this is why I say Black Klansman, not Black Klansman, but Black Panther has gotten such hype because it is a story behind it. It is a social relevance to it, especially when it starts out and you see these kids in the projects. And you're like, oh shit, man! This guy has all this technology. Why is he not helping these people out? They can rule all of this,
right?
So then there's a party that makes it like, well, yeah, why not? Because I can tell you, here's a conversation that a lot of people had after that movie. They were like, they either identify with T'Challa or Killmonger. Because that's what I noticed about this movie. It's very rare that you see a comic book movie where people are kind of split down the middle between the good guy and the bad guy. Because the good guy is like, yo, I thought we were helping people with this stuff too, but you know what? I understand kind of why we held it back, but I'm not going to be that dude. But I can't let you take this over and just give it to everybody.
Right. No, yeah.
Whereas you look at Killmonger and you're like, this dude was like the last line when he says, I can save you. And he says, nah, bruh. Just throw me in the ocean and bury me with my ancestors who knew that bondage would be worse than any kind of compromise or whatever. And I'm like, okay, you got a good point. You got a good point. So it had a lot of different layers to it. Plus, you get to see the tribalism.
It did. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I just don't know that it had quite the same layers. But I'm saying also we're talking about an academy that historically doesn't do that. Like,
oh no, they don't.
Whoever is commenting on here, Todd saying like, I'm bashing. I just said it's my favorite movie. I'm not bashing the superhero movie. Listen to what I said. What I said was, I don't think the Academy historically will give those. They usually don't. They don't give comedies. They don't give superhero movies.
They won't.
They might. This
which
time.
Is why this is why I say I think it's going to come down to that. The only reason I don't say because of the people, because the favorite was okay, but I honestly don't.
I never.
That's why I say like it won't get that. But now. I'm sorry, I got to throw A Star Is Born in the mix because that's gotten so much hype.
Right.
It's gotten, Bradley Cooper's up for, isn't he? He's not up for Best Director? Didn't he direct this? I thought he directed this. Didn't he direct A Star Is Born? I could have sworn he did.
I don't know.
But Lady Gaga got so much hype from this. It's a great actress and all of this stuff. Right. So, and not one person said it was a shitty movie. So I get what you're saying about remakes because I felt like that about Vacation.
Oh, dude, I can't even watch it. I will not watch that remake.
Let me tell you something, bro. Just give me 2 seconds. It was one of the most, and I'm a fan. I'm a huge Christina Applegate fan,
right.
And I love Ed Helms. So it wasn't about the people in the movie. I wanted the movie to be great because of the people in the movie. I'm like, all right, okay, I can see you pulling off a Harold Griswold. I can see you doing that. You got the sex appeal of the Beverly D'Angelo too, Christina. So it wasn't casting.
Right.
I'm watching this movie and I'm like, you guys are
they
taking
went for the lowest level of everything, right? But that's how comedy is now. Comedy is now. If it's not, if you try to do something clever, a great comedy that I don't know if it got nominated because I don't remember. I was way too young. But the Stanley Kubrick. The one about why am I drawing a blank? Dr. Strangelove.
Mm-hmm.
First off,
they did a remake of that?
No. I'm saying that as far as like doing, you could never make a movie like that nowadays,
right? Because
it's just incredible political satire. I mean, everything was amazing. By the way, Peter Sellers, next to maybe Gary Oldman. Peter Sellers may be the greatest actor.
I love Peter Sellers.
Him and Gary Oldman to me are just.
Real quick, they said Black Panther set direction just beat out Roma.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, but
Well, dude, the costumes, the set, the Black Panther was a huge epic of a movie.
Yeah.
And it was super empowering because it's something we just haven't seen anyone do.
Yeah.
And even people boycotting, I guess the racists remember boycotting.
Which I
and it still made $1 billion.
I got to be honest with you, man. The fact that people actually thought it was about the Black Panthers. This is not, dude. It wasn't like this was like some kind of underground movie that was kind of like hilarious. That's right. We should. That's
Riggs. Brett Gilbert, great comment, by the way.
Riggs.
But I'll tell you, Roger, I don't know what I'm doing here.
But it's like it's not like Black Panther was like some underground movie that no one ever heard of.
Right.
Like, it's a Marvel movie. When did you think, at what point did you think Marvel got into the social justice arena?
Right.
Who is the person that was dumb enough to think that it was actually about the Black Panthers? So to me, when it only
Trump
gave it
supporters.
I know.
Like, it's crazy how dumb they are.
But it gave them, it actually helped the film get more attention because we was like, why are they boycotting this superhero movie?
But let's pretend for a brief second that it was about the Black Panthers, which is so obscure. Like, you only need to see a trailer or know, or know anything to know that it's not about the Black Panthers.
That's my point. I'm like, come on, man.
But even if it was, that's like going, movie about Martin Luther King? Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah,
like, the Black Panthers... Like, I love it when people go, oh, they're a terrorist organization. Why? Why? Because they were trying to fight against white people and they white people? Like, shut the fuck up.
Hey, white people, I like that. White people. So, no, I honestly feel like, so I have to throw them in there. So if you got to go, you got skill. I'm giving you 3, bro. I'm not going to make it hard for him. I'm giving you 3. You got between Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Panther, and you know what? I don't want to put it over.
I'm going Black Panther for Best Picture.
Yeah,
Black Panther. Like I said, my personal taste, and maybe the Academy might give a nod to Spike Lee, and I think Black Klansman was fucking good, dude. It was a good movie.
Let me tell you something.
It wasn't a huge epic.
He should at least bare minimum. Because the movie was it was a great movie, and at some point they need to give this dude his lifetime.
Right.
I'm going to lobby for that again.
Right.
Give Spike Lee his lifetime achievement award. He deserves it. All right, boom.
Yeah, he's never won an Academy Award, has he? I mean, no, at least not for like best.
I don't think so. But he's done some of the best movies.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In Hollywood, period. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, iconic movies.
Yeah.
To where you look at it like, oh, that's right, I forgot that movie was good.
But see, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like Do the Right Thing.
Great.
The end of the Do the Right Thing, like you sit and you're like,
now I will tell you this, yes.
Fuck, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean by
Spike is guilty of leaving you out there like, man, he either gonna make you feel great or you gonna feel fucked up after the movie.
And I feel like most of the movies that win Best Picture usually are either so masterfully done, like. Yeah. I really thought I don't know how the fuck the worst time I've ever seen back in the, I guess it was in late 90s, early 2000s when it was Best Picture was like Titanic, The Full Monty,
Earl Saves Christmas,
LA Confidential, like all these movies that are like top 10 movies for me. I never saw Titanic, but all these incredible movies, and the one that won was like Aaron Brockovich. Like, how the fuck does Aaron Brockovich win over LA Confidential? Like, it was insane. But you look at a movie like LA Confidential and you go, that movie's just amazing.
I'm not going to lie, though. I did watch Titanic.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, I'm still sitting there like, you going to be that fucking selfish and not let him get up on the board with you?
Right.
Really?
I never saw.
No. The last scene is her on the board.
Right.
And Leonardo's in the water.
Right.
So the thing is already sank. So she's on the board and he's talking to her. And she's like, then you just lay on the board. I'll stay in the water.
Yeah, sorry you're going to drown.
So part of you just like, you just not going to get up on the board. So that's the only thing I always hated about the ending of Titanic.
There's just not enough room for two people up here.
Why you widespreading? Come on now. There's room for us both now. But no, I get it. So, but now, was that when Aaron Brockovich, when they did, was Julia Roberts, or were they trying to push Julia Roberts?
No, she was Julia Roberts. I think they just gave it because, it was like a Julia Roberts, we love Julia Roberts moment, I think.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, but it's like the movie wasn't even close to the other ones, in my opinion. I wish you
don't see her around that much anymore.
No, she's not around much at all. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, because she's awesome, man. She's still good. Okay. All right. So let's move on here real quick. Do we want to go? We're good with that, right? We're good with that. Let's move on. I have to say this really quick. Not to bring down anything, but as you guys know, if you have been following on Facebook, Brody Stevens.
Yeah, great call.
I mean, man, I'm still trying to deal with it. I've known Brody ever since I started comedy from the Northwest. And when I tell you, And you and I actually joked about this.
Was he? I know he spent a lot of time up in Seattle. Is he from Seattle?
I don't know. I don't think he's from up there. I don't think he's from there, but that's where he kind of started, from the Northwest. But
yeah, he's from the Valley. We know
exactly.
We know that.
But here's the thing, man. And we talked about this before about like when you see people across time and you always have a picture of them. I always had a great picture of this guy. This guy always had a great attitude. Always. When I tell you, I have never seen Brody in a shitty mood. He always made you feel like, hey, everything's cool. Everything's great. And
which is super ironic.
I know, right? Because, he was exactly enjoy it.
Yes.
And I remember like it's just hard sometimes when people like that are just a light. He was a light. I mean, like sometimes you see people and just like, okay, this is what they do, but he was just that's who he was.
Right.
Period. It wasn't a front. This is just who he is. Kind, super funny, original. I mean, man, I always wanted to watch Brody. Whenever he got on stage, I always wanted to see what he was going to do, and
Which, it's funny, years ago, it was probably like 2000.
818 for life, that's right.
It was like 2001. We doing a show here in LA, and I remember some people got pissed at me. Of course, he didn't get pissed at me because he got it. It was I was trying to be funny, but I was also being real. Like he went up and he did something and he was up on stage for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and just being Brody. And I don't know that he said a single joke. He was just like,
riffing.
Just riffing and doing his thing, and none of it made any sense, but it was hilarious. And I remember whoever was hosting the show was like, "Hey, whose show it was?" Said the host didn't show up. Could you bring him down and then introduce the next act? And I was like last on the show or whatever. It was one of these Farfalla, one of these shows in LA back in the 2000s. And I was like, yeah, sure, I guess I'll MC. So I go up to bring Brody down, and I didn't know what to do. What say? And I go, Brody Stevens. I go, proof that you don't need to write jokes to make people laugh or something like that. And I go, I've seen more material on a Pamela Anderson shoot. And people were like, ooh. And I'm like, I'm not making fun of the guy, but it's like, that's how he was.
Yeah.
There was no jokes, and yet you're dying laughing. It's just constant
funny.
barrage of brodiness,
Yep. Like I actually just said one of his favorite lines, very hairy as a child. I never got Flintstone vitamins. I can't even. Somehow I got Rogaine chewables.
And this is coming for those who are listening, not on Facebook. This is Brett Gilbert, another comic known for many, many years. We actually were messaging yesterday about this, and
send us some more if you got some more Brody quotables, man.
Great Brody lines or Brody stories. There was a whole bunch of people putting their Brody stories up today. And for those of you who don't know what the fuck we're talking about, Brody Stevens, comic. He's not a household name. He was you may know him, you may not. He's definitely done some stuff. He's had some shows. He's been on a lot of things. He's a well-known comic, but he's not he's not Chris Rock in notoriety. So you may know him, you may not. But
he's this generation's comics comic.
He's definitely a comics comic for sure, and just crazy manic dude and super funny. Go do yourself a favor and go watch some Brody. I think his special's still up. I'm sure it's somewhere, but he just took his own life a couple of days ago, and he battled with bipolar, I believe. He definitely he battled with mental illness. I believe it was bipolar. I'm not exactly sure what he was diagnosed with.
I don't know exactly what it was.
But I know he's had episodes in the past. A few years back, he had an episode and got off his meds, which happens a lot with people with mental illness. A lot of times they feel like they've got it or they under control, and they get off their meds, and it usually doesn't work out. And he was able to get back on and get back together. And then I guess from what I'm understanding is something happened again, and he was off his meds again.
Hold everything you're saying because it's going to mean something. But this is how funny Brody is. As Ian right now is talking how sad this is that he took his own life and what he was dealing with.
Ty's laughing at it.
I'm laughing because people are sending Brody jokes and I'm like, they're still so funny, bro. Right. That's a testament to being a comics comic, man. Right. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the joke that Brett posted was, I'm very aggressive. I charge the Mountain T-bone.
like, come on, man. And he's gone. But this is what I'm saying. This is what I mean by how much of a light this dude was, where you just like, wow. You wanted to make sure you saw what this guy was doing whenever he was about to get on stage. And man, to what you were saying before about, and I didn't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry, but
no.
About mental health, people don't understand this, man. This is not an easy business for people with regular mental health. This is not an easy business. But imagine going through this up and down roller coaster career life and still having issues. And what a lot of people don't get is that as comedians, people think that we're always supposed to be on. We're always supposed to be funny. We're always supposed to be happy. And that shit is not true, bro.
Well, it's almost always the opposite. With most artists, I think that there's a disproportion. I'm sure somebody can find the facts on this. I'm positive of this. I've read this many times. There's a disproportionate... it's between people who do artists and whatever, that there's a disproportionate amount of people who are artists who have mental health issues, depression,
right,
that sort of stuff. And maybe that's what helps. Maybe it's one of the things that makes our brains go a certain way to write jokes or music or whatever the deal is. What are you're laughing at?
So that he just wrote, Brett just posted another joke. I'm a professional. I've been doing comedy for 6 weeks. Come on, man. I'm not going to read the screen for a second because I know you're trying to be serious.
My headshot is 11x17 laminated. I stand out in the pile.
That's right.
Actually, that's a good idea, though. That's a good idea.
I know. But yeah, man, and the hard part about being in a business where your job literally is to make other people feel better is that it's hard to go after.
Now, I thought that for a second, I thought that was a Brody Stevens joke. Now Facebook is playing a joke on Ty. Do you want to tag Bruce Jingles in this video?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you were. Oh no, I thought it was saying that you. I thought it was doing facial recognition. I was like, that's some bullshit, Facebook.
That's fucked up.
That's some bullshit, Facebook.
That's fucked up. We're not all the same, Facebook.
Yeah.
No, but
it's all. Do you want to tag John Malkovich? What the fuck?
These motherfuckers. No, man. I feel like. It's to be in this business where your job is literally to make other people feel better and to not feel good yourself. It's one of the hardest places to be. I won't go into detail, but I put it this way. Years ago, I was going through a shitty time, bro. Personally and professionally, it was just shitty. And I remember one day just like there was nothing anybody could say to me, bro. Nothing. There was nothing anybody could say to me to make me feel better. Like I would listen and I would hear people saying stuff and they would give you the traditional motivational stuff to say, and you just take it all in, and then in the back of your mind is like, none of this fucking matters. None of what you're saying matters.
Right.
My whole point is at that moment, I was sitting there thinking, man, I'll never judge anybody who says they're dealing with something, because you never know what's going on in somebody's head, bro. Right. And for him to still be as much of a light, I'm going to keep using that, as much of a light on stage, knowing the shit that he was going through, man. Oh yeah,
is that joke? They're talking about me.
Oh,
another bald white guy.
That's me, Todd, in that commercial. Yeah, thanks, man.
I'm very intense. I get BO in the shower.
Another Brody line was it?
I'm very intense. I can do the. I can't do the
BO. I get BO in the shower.
You know, it's But here's the thing that I just wanted to bring the room down a bit.
Of course, go ahead.
No, but I mean the thing that people that drives me crazy, that in this day and age, it's 2019. People still, super smart, educated people, still don't understand that mental illness is a physical thing. It is a real thing. It's not, I'm in a bad mood. It's not, I lost my job and I feel a little down right now. Mm-hmm. It can be that. It can be that. You can be in a shitty place. You can lose and you can be situationally depressed. You can have issues. That's fine. That can be a thing. I'm not talking about that. But people who are clinically depressed, people who have bipolar, people who are schizophrenic, these things are physical problems with the brain that need to be corrected with medication. You can't you can't when people go, yeah, I don't like doing medication, I don't want to mess with my brain. Imagine if I was type 1 diabetic and I said, you know what, I just go to counseling for my insulin.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it doesn't work that way. Your fucking pancreas creates insulin or it doesn't. And it's the same thing. You either create serotonin, dopamine, you receive it, your brain blocks it, whatever the deal is. If you're not getting it, your brain isn't functioning properly. And the problem with mental illness is because our brain is the center of who we are.
Right.
When it's our brain that's the organ that's fucked up, we think that we can think our way through it.
Yeah, I know.
You don't think that if you got a fucking broken hand, you don't go, let me think my way through this broken hand, because your hand is here, not here. And we have this stigma that it's like, oh, well, I'm just taking these pills and they're just dulling it and they're happy and they're making me happy. But in reality, that's not really who I am. I am this other person. And so many people I've known that have gone this route, have committed suicide, have gone on drugs and just disappeared. They all have this idea that if I take something, it's going to change who I am and it's going to kill my creativity.
Right.
And it's like,
I've heard that before.
It doesn't. I get it, man. It makes you feel different, but it's a good different, I promise, because the bad different is fucking bad. And
no, because you don't want to be in a darker place. And that's why I said, but everyone deals with these things in a different. I want to read something real quick that another person made a comment here. Philip said, I think once one knows a comedian, then quickly realize that you are the same as us, same problems, same family stuff. That's exactly it. So that's why I said, if you imagine someone still having the same average everyday problems, but not having the help.
Right.
That's, you know what I'm saying? Because if you work any other job and you say, well, I'm kind of dealing with some shit I'm going through, somebody will be like, okay, well, let's go get you some help.
Right.
But if you're a comedian and you tell somebody that and they're like, but you're a comedian. It never fails.
And also comedians,
that.
we also go, you know what though? I'm fucking crazy. I mean, imagine watching, you watch Brody on stage and you go, oh, well, that's his personality. That's who he is. That's what he is on stage. And I could completely see internalizing that and saying, if I get help with this, that's going to kill what I do up there. And it's just not true, but I understand feeling that way. And I understand outside people going, oh yeah, but he's just crazy. He's just a crazy nutty guy. And
that's why for the most part, you know, because this is, unfortunately, this is a common thing in our field. But beyond that, and this is what people need to understand, is that you have friends for a reason. You have family for a reason. In certain cases, you have medication for a reason. If you need the help, talk to somebody for help. I always tell people this. Right. You know what? Like, I may not remember names. You know, I'm shitty with names. You know this, Edward. I'm just kidding. But, you know, I'm shitty with names. But here's the thing I always tell every comedian that I've ever met, even if I've met you for a second, if you reach out to me and I sense that you're in a shitty mood, even if I don't want to talk at that moment, I still try to make time for people because I know
it's the only reason we have this podcast.
That's it. Any other time we wouldn't be talking. Right. But I know this. So when I see people and they feel like they can't go to somebody, because it's hard to go to somebody and say, man, I need some help. I'm dealing with some shit. Especially as men. That's the other thing. That's the hard part about being a man. Is like, if you're a woman and you want to express yourself, no one chides you for expressing yourself because you're a woman and you're supposed to be sensitive like that. Dudes, it's not the fucking easiest thing to do, to go to somebody and say, hey, man, I don't know how to deal right now. I don't know how to deal with this shit.
Right.
And we have to get past that because...
Well, yeah, what do people say? Man up.
Yeah, see, we got to stop that shit because you can't just turn that shit off because you are an emotional creature. That's who we are. At the core of who we are, we're emotional creatures. Some people are dead inside, and you know how they vote.
I'm right here, dude.
But even, you know what? Prime example, Ian, right? He's an atheist, right? Not a spiritual person like that. But I know he cares. I know he has emotions. I know he has feelings. That's way different. You know what I'm saying? Than someone that just says, well, come on, you should just be able to turn it off like that.
Right.
That's not how it fucking works.
Yeah, nothing works. Your brain doesn't work that way. And I mean, and the biggest thing is,
hey, Alicia,
you know, people need to remember that you know, all of this shit will pass. I mean, you know, I have a friend though that he's like, hey, I have no problem. Another Brody joke.
Yeah, it said, I'm getting I'm getting very successful. It feels good to be able to take my mom out to McDonald's and and pay half. Okay, go ahead, man. All right, I'm gonna stop looking at the screen, bro. Brett's killing me with these.
But Todd posts here about reminded of Greg Giraldo, Robin Williams.
Oh yeah,
dude. There's so many. Wasn't Freddie Prinze? Didn't Freddie Prinze?
Freddie Prinze had issues. And Freddie Prinze had he was on his way up, like a television show up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not about being. That's the thing that people don't understand. It's not about success. It's not about being happy. It's not about being loved by everybody. Because all these guys are that. Right. And that's what mental health issues are not about being happy. Oh, why did he kill himself? Oh, that guy wasn't so successful, Robin Williams. It's like, because it's not fucking about that, okay? Right. We need to get past these stupid-ass stigmas that people have on what mental health is and what mental health treatment is. Right. And, I mean, look at the people with PTSD, and we know nothing. We know almost nothing about PTSD.
They thought it was bullshit back then. Yeah. Well, now they're just now starting to get. They blew a lot of that shit off.
Yeah, I remember it was shell shock, and then it was battle fatigue, and it was and there's a lot going on in our brains, man. And the biggest thing is, like, if you're out there and you have and first off, if you know you have this or you've been diagnosed with something, right? Please listen to the doctors. There's no conspiracy out there to make you work. There's no big pharma that's not just trying to. They're not trying to dumb you down or doing. They're trying to help you. Now, sure, there may be some corrupt fucks out there that are taking your money and this and that. But there's no conspiracy. The antidepressants aren't trying to fucking kill you. They're not trying to.
If they literally know more than you, kind of listen to them at least.
And if not, and at the very least, you gotta reach out. You gotta reach out to friends. You gotta do things before and before you make these decisions. And it's just, I don't know, it drives me crazy because there's so much information on the internet. There's so much disinformation. Yeah. I was watching a thing recently that there's more flat earthers now than ever in history.
I can't.
And 100% of them said they were convinced by YouTube videos. Are you fucking kidding me?
I can't, bro.
You were convinced, and that's what happens though. Is people sit around there watching YouTube and they go, "Oh, you know what? Maybe it's a conspiracy. I should get off my medication." You can't.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they get off their medication and something goes haywire, and then they end up dying or going crazy or killing themselves. And then someone goes, "See, medication, bad thing," and that gets somebody else to get off their medication.
I am a firm believer in, if you technically and literally know more than me about something, I'm going to at least listen more than the person that just posts a fucking. This is always trip out when people post something. Or even a political argument, and then their rebuttal is a fucking YouTube video from somebody who's sitting in their living room fucking eating Cheetos at the same time as they're telling you something. Right. Like, stop.
Yes.
Stop that. If you want to, just stop. That was going to get me in a whole nother area. Okay, listen. I wanted to say this real quick because it kind of goes to what we were talking about here a second ago. Hi, Rochelle. How you doing? Thank you to everybody that's still tuning in. By the way, pay the bills. Pay the bills.
Oh, yeah. By the way, please go to our Patreon, patreon.com/criticalandthinking. And we have, if you're not watching Facebook Live, we don't save these, so you can watch them on YouTube. If you're Patreon, also we do an extra 10 minutes at the end. That's always kind of fun. That's only available to Patreon people. And we only do, it's like $2 a month. Right. The price of a cup of coffee.
Come on.
$2 a month.
On the eyes. I thought you were
if you could just spare $2 a month,
please salute
10 cents
to us too
every day. I don't know. I don't have the math on this. But
need the coffee.
Actually, you can't even get coffee for $2 anymore.
Yeah, not at Starbucks. Right? Not that bullshit. Okay, anyway.
I was noticing that Brett was posting the Brody Stevens lines, and someone goes, "Bro, Brett stole that line from Josh Blue." I saw that. I'm like, so did Josh Blue steal that line from Brody Stevens? Yeah. Oh, shit, Josh.
I'm going to give the nod to Brody. Okay, so listen. Let's see what minutes. Luckily, so we're going to read another comment, and then we're going to move to another subject because I want to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
Philip says, lucky to serve during the Clinton administration. I was only stateside. The guy's serving now and in recent past. Oh,
you're talking about serving in the military. Yeah, I mean it's crazy right now. The people that coming back with PTSD issues. It's and Vietnam was the other one.
They didn't believe that with Agent Orange. They didn't believe any of that.
Yeah,
I mean, they're spraying chemicals, and they did not believe. It took Forrest Gump to get convince these people that shit happened. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to the next topic because we cannot have the podcast without talking about this one. It's been in the news more than, by the way, this news has been in the news more than the Coast Guard, who was planning a massive domestic terror attack targeting all all anti-Trump people, Democrats. Do you understand? This is the second, by the way.
The news, yeah. Anybody who's a reporter, journalist, yeah, the Coast Guard guy.
Look, yeah, because
another white. And then do you see how many? Oh, you see all the. By the way, all the 200 and something Southern Baptists that were molesting kids as well. It keeps being white Southern Christian dudes. It's never Mexicans coming across the border, ever.
I'm a firm believer in
these people.
It's bananas. But let's talk about Jussie Smollett for a second, because here's what I'm starting to hear rumbles of, okay? Well, since he said this, you can't believe the victims now of hate crimes. I said, let me get this straight. One dude lies, and now it erases everybody else that has been a victim of something.
That's what they tried to do with women with the Me Too thing. 300 fucking cases, and they find that one is the chick's, is making up a story.
Critical and thinking podcast.
And critical and thinking. And they find one that's not, and they go, okay, well, we can't believe any of these women. It's like,
but see, but this is what you're doing, because
can't you look at every case as a fucking individual case and do a fucking investigation on every fucking case?
They don't want you to do that but they want you to do
their narrative.
They want you to do that when it is the gunman. No. You can't look. Nope. You can't blame all of us. Yeah. That guy was a lone gunman.
Yeah,
every time.
The 30,000 deaths a year, they're all lone gunmen who are crazy. Oh, it's mental illness. Oh, well, then should we do something about mental illness? Not on my dime.
Nope, I ain't got time for that.
So could he have done it with a hammer? Of course. Look at. They always go, look at other countries. There's murders in other. Really? How many? There's 30,000 murders in other countries by hammer and baseball bat. Hilarious. Go fuck yourself.
You have to understand something, man. If you want to still believe, that we are in a fair and balanced situation in society, we're not. Let me be honest. Yeah, this dude fucked up. He fucked up, okay? He lied about something that he shouldn't have lied about, which, by the way, I'm like, bro, you went for the fucking trifecta of hate. You said he said they called you gay, they called you the N-word, and they was wearing MAGA hats.
Right,
like, exactly. Damn, bro, you threw it. He's like, maybe just throw a little dash of this in there, sprinkle some of this in there. I'm like,
they took off their hats, they had a comb over.
One of them tiny mustache. But
they burned a cross on me, man.
like, come on, man. So no one is denying, not with common sense, no one is denying that this dude fucked up. He did. But this one dude fucked up.
Right.
Don't tell me that all of a sudden you care about truth and justice when we have a dude in office.
It's just like all of a sudden when a Democrat does the blackface, all of a sudden they're like, we've got to get rid of these racists.
Yes.
Oh, really, Republicans? Yeah, you're going to get rid of the racists.
But
okay.
if it happens with a Republican, they're always like, well, I mean, it was a long time ago. And, like right now.
Or they always go, well, Lincoln was a Republican.
I'm like, come on, man, stop. So to me, I kind of expect people to try to co-opt this and turn it away from real victims. But now it falls on the people who, whether you're going to let them do this or not. Don't.
Right.
Do not let them try to sit there and say, well, we don't know who we can believe. Cops have been getting busted for planting evidence for I don't know how long.
Right.
Yet we still give cops the benefit of the doubt because we say it's not all cops, which it isn't.
Right.
So why is it we're not looking at each of these cases individually? Because we're so much caught up in this tribalism that we have to pick. What did your team do? What did your team do wrong?
But here's the other thing is notice how they always love to say they're not racist, yet when it's a black dude,
thanks, Philip.
It's your team.
Right.
Well, it's like, so you're not on the team with the black guy. I get it. Is that why? Because it's so fucking telling,
bro.
It's like that one, and there's 10 times more people. My bubble is left wing liberal atheist bubble on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and whatever, and I'm seeing 20 times more of this fucking Jussie Smollett thing, and Jesse's mullet. That's what she sounds like.
Jesse's
Sounds like
mullet.
That's to be the guy, the Coast Guard guy's name. Jesse's mullet.
But that's the other thing. No one would. So you mean to tell me a dude's lie about something that just affected him is more of a story than the dude who had an arsenal stockpiled up and was a member of our armed forces that was going to kill the left side of our country's democracy because he did not agree with that and he was channeling.
By the way, this is the second time that we know of that somebody who directly listened to the people that Trump called out was trying to murder multiple people because Trump said to get rid of these people.
This is bananas to me.
Well, also Trump and what's his name today? What was it? Trump's fucking dude. The Secretary of State? The dude with the fucking the molestation. I mean, it's fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
It's insane what we're dealing with right now, and everyone turns it into like an us against them tribalism. Do you not care about the rule of law? Like, I'll be the first one to say, yeah, fuck this Jesse guy. Do whatever the fuck, he fucked up. It's on him.
Right.
I don't give a fuck if he's on my team. He's not on. I'm not on any fucking team. I don't get a trophy at the end of the fucking year.
Somebody asked me. It's funny that you exactly said. That's how they think about it. Like they're gonna get a reward at the end of the year if they stay with their team. I'm like, wrong is wrong.
Yeah,
wrong is wrong. Like
your reward is paying more in taxes, dumb fuck.
But somebody asked me about him, and I know this guy. He's a Trump supporter, but he asked me. He said, "Hey, what do you think about?" And then he says, "So I guess you're gonna defend such and such lying." I said, "No. Why would I defend him lying? He lied about something that didn't happen,
right?
And he created something using a false narrative, which I don't like when anybody does it.
Right.
So I'm going to call him out." And the guy writes,
and it makes the legitimate ones worse. So why would anyone support that?
But I wrote out that and saying, no, I think he's wrong. It's wrong. And the guy says, good for you. But that same dude, when I bring up the stuff that goes on with Trump, he's like, well, you can't really look at it that way. I mean, everybody lies. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
But this is why, and we had this conversation about
now you need to go back to him and go, okay, but remember just
no, because if I remind him of that, he'll find some kind of crazy shit to justify his lack of morals. But this is why I say, at some point, you're going to have to realize, and when the common people still keep believing that their problem are the other common people,
right,
we will continue to have a common problem,
right?
Because you think the person next to you is the dude.
The guy making $10 an hour. The guy making $11 an hour is the reason the other guy's only making $10 an hour.
It's like, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Fuck that guy for making $11 an hour. He needs to make $10 an hour. Like I'm making $10. Meanwhile, they don't give a shit about the guy making $10,000 a minute who's their boss. Yeah, they don't give a fuck about that.
It's bananas, the stuff that people will let go and they don't want to be angry about. When did we start saying, well, having multiple sexual assault allegations is bad only if the other person has them? This is where we are now. Right. You got a person that has 12 of them. And you want to sit here and focus on a dude who just took a picture like this? Stop it!
Right?
Stop it!
Yeah. Then the same people who wanted to get rid of Clinton for getting a consensual blowjob, they don't give a fuck about.
This is why
about dude paying using campaign finance money to pay off several porn stars whom he fucked. And you know what the reason is? You know what they say?
They say he was ordained by God.
They say, well, he wasn't president then.
Yes,
that makes it okay. Yes. He wasn't president then, so only people who are president can fuck people and pay them off and do this shit. But during the time they're not president.
But this is why I say,
if Clinton had gotten it when he was governor, that would have been fine.
It would have been fine.
Yeah,
we've opened Pandora's box of all of this. That's why the guy in Virginia, the lieutenant governor in Virginia, when he had the second sexual assault allegation, people were like, "Oh man, he should resign." I'm like, "Why?
No. Yeah,
why resign? If it was 2 years ago when you were still holding people accountable for this shit across the board, but we got a dude in office now that got 12. He's probably like, 17. Shit, only got 2.
Yeah, he's like, when I get to 18, we'll start
then you can I'll think about leaving, but at 2, come on, man.
Now you care about women and sexual assault. Yeah, now you care about when it's the other side. When it's Roy Moore fucking 14-year-olds, you still vote for him.
Stop. Okay, so look, But okay, so what we're gonna do, because we gotta get ready to get out of here in a little bit. How much time we got?
It's like 5 minutes.
Okay,
5,
so
10
this
minutes.
is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. I think we should do this. What do you think? So I know we do the Patreon. Here, pay the bills real quick.
Yeah, so we do a Patreon thing. If this we don't save the videos, right? We so the videos are on YouTube. If you member Patreon, you get to watch videos, and we do this little extra 5-10 minute thing at the end. That's always some kind of goofy little funny stuff. We talk about funny stories in the news. We do sometimes impressions, comedy bits, whatever. That's extra, and that's part of the Patreon thing. And so we're gonna
Philip,
do
sign
that
up
now.
for the Patreon, bro.
We're gonna do that now.
Yeah, you want to do it now?
And then I guess we'll see people next time. And,
That's right.
So
if you're leaving now, you can find Ian at
IanHarrisComedian.com.
and
Or any of the social mediums. So just search my name.
That's
and it
right.
comes up. You don't
Ian
even need
Harris.
a handle now. You just look up the name and it's like
I am still the person that types www though. Still.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I still do. But you can find me at comediantybarnett.com, which has links to the Facebook, the Twitter, and the Instagram. We will be doing another Divided Comedy Tour soon. We just have to get our schedules together. This dude works, I work, and
Right.
we got kids and stuff. So look out for that. But what we're gonna do now is a new thing that we just said. So we got a new story. We're gonna find some crazy shit that we saw, and we're just gonna talk shit about the crazy shit that we saw. So okay.